Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to session 4 of our demonstrations of raw food preparation. We're excited to have Alicia here with us today. She's a registered dietitian and certified nutrition specialist who also holds an associate chef certificate. I really did read this before. Her years of work experience range from conventional outpatient dialysis clinics to comprehensive cancer care and recovery. Her interest in raw foods arose primarily from her own health challenges with chronic fatigue syndrome and cystic acne. After receiving a poor prognosis for recovery from mainstream medicine, she found many of her own answers in the essential component of nutrition from raw, unprocessed foods. Her mission is to share hope for optimal health and true healing and wholeness through nutrition and other natural and spiritual laws. Her passion is to help people make nutritious eating absolutely delicious and part of everyday life. Yes, it's truly possible. So please help me welcome Alicia as she shows us how.
Thank you, Patty. Thank you. Hope you're all refreshed after lunch, ready to go for the rest of the afternoon. And also want to thank Linda for being here with me, my wonderful assistant. It's going to make things exciting this afternoon. We are going to make the best honey mustard that you have ever had. And it truly is. And in the meantime, you're even going to learn a little bit about sprouting. And don't be intimidated because I'm going to take all the fear out of it. When I first started eating raw foods, honestly, it was a little bit boring. I knew about garlic and lemon juice. And so pretty much everything, all the vegetables tasted like garlic and lemon juice. And honestly, the key to eating raw and a lot of vegetables, especially vegetables, successfully is having good spreads and sauces. And I think this is really one of the best ones. This is one I really wish I would have known about a little while ago. It's really through those spreads and sauces that you get a lot of flavor, a lot of variety. It just makes the veggies much more exciting, makes them come alive. And it even brings back the kind of the comfort, those old comfort foods, especially like with mustard, you know. It's one of those favorites that everybody loves. Traditional mustard typically has vinegar and sugar in it, which on raw diets most people are wanting to stay away from. So this time we only have 4 simple ingredients, and we're going to be using lemon juice instead of the vinegar and dates instead of the sugar. So let's start with our mustard. These are the mustard seeds we're going to be using. And mustard is actually from the cruciferous family. Cruciferous family is the same family that is broccoli and cauliflower, kale, Brussels sprouts. So it has kind of a pretty strong fragrance, which you're going to get to smell in just a minute. Today we're going to be using yellow and brown mustard seeds, and Linda's going to pass those around for you. The yellow, as you're going to get to see, are a little bit bigger, and they're the ones that are traditionally used in a regular American mustard. The brown seeds are a little bit smaller, a little bit spicier, and those are the ones that are typically in the Dijon mustards. The seeds are full of a lot of nutrition, actually. There's a lot of selenium. Selenium is a very potent antioxidant, which is great at boosting the immune system, great at fighting cancer. A lot of magnesium and zinc. There's the vitamins A, B, C, E, and K. The seeds are actually 35% protein. That's pretty high protein in a seed. And also, the phytonutrient of glucosinolates, which is very well known through research in fighting cancer. Phytonutrients are basically just a component in plants that research and science is finding is another component in plant that really has a lot more nutrition and value than just specific vitamins and minerals. Mustard's been actually used for centuries in healing, back to the days of Hippocrates. He used mustard for healing. It's known to relieve joint pain, muscle pain, arthritis. It's also used to improve circulation. It improves digestion. It actually can induce vomiting. So in cases of poisoning, you could actually use a lot of mustard. Not something we want to do today. No. As you can see, it's a very teeny tiny little seed. The seed's only about 2 millimeters in diameter, but there's amazing potential in that little seed. The plant grows to be over 8 feet tall from that little teeny tiny seed. Kirlian photography. Has anybody heard of Kirlian photography? Does anybody want to tell us what it is? Yeah, basically. Well, and the same thing as they do it for plants. So it gives a little picture of the life energy in the plant, basically. They're gorgeous, gorgeous pictures, actually. Even Kirlian photography has shown that that little 2 millimeter seed gives a 100 millimeter radius. That's just the radius. So you give a 200 millimeter circle right around the seed. And so it's shown, that it's on record, that it is the greatest energy picture of all the plants. Even in biblical times, it was known as the greatest herb in the garden. Jesus used the mustard seed to explain the kingdom of God, and also the power of faith to move mountains. So when you think about it, there's truly amazing potential in the power of a seed, especially when it's combined with the right forces. And when you think about that, that's a life-changing concept. So just as in the spiritual realm, the same is true in the physical realm. The mustard seeds have to be activated by something. And so that takes us to soaking and sprouting. And so today, because of the sprouting, we're using water to kind of activate our seeds. Soaking is really nothing but just a process of activating the life force of a seed, really just bringing that dormant seed to life. And honestly, when I first started doing raw foods, I said, I'll do any vegetable, any fruit, any nut, seed, grain, whatever, but I'm not sprouting and I'm not soaking, because it was too much work. Well, I'm going to take all the fear and all the work out of it. It's super, super simple. You just need the right equipment. You don't have to use the jar method, but I find it's really probably one of the easiest. You can use bowls and strainers at home if you want, but all you have to do is put your seeds in a jar. Find some little cover for the top, whether you want to use a mesh that you can get at the hardware store, cut it into a nice square, or you can get these great little strainer circles that fit your jar lid. And it just fits on there like that. If you want to do the mesh method, find a great little rubber band, tie. You can also use cheesecloth, and that'll fit right on the top of there like that. I'm going to have Linda pass these around. These have already been soaking, and you'll see that the water has become very gelatinous, kind of a mucilagenic type of texture to it. And as you smell them, you're going to see that they've developed more of a strong sulfur smell. So the flavor has definitely been developing. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started to make our mustard. I'm putting our seeds into the blender. I'm using a Vita-Mix just because it's my favorite, honestly. It's more powerful. It makes an excellent smooth texture. You can use any blender, though. You don't have to use this one. It's just great to take frozen fruit and make a great smoothie instantly. You can actually even have ice cream. It doesn't even have to be a smoothie. Okay, so we're going to add our lemon juice. It's on page 21 if you want to follow along. And the lemon juice is going to help balance out our flavors. We're going to use some dates here. Scoot this over so it's a little bit more central. Be sure when you're going through and putting your dates in that you check for little, like I found a little nice little bud. You don't want anything crunchy in your sauce that doesn't need to be there. So I'm putting in my dates here, and we're going to add our tamari, thank you, which is going to add as our salty component instead of just adding salt to give us a little bit more flavor, a little bit more depth to our flavor. And actually, I don't think I'm going to use the lid, and it sounds kind of scary, probably, doesn't it? But I'm actually going to stick the spatula in here because this is a very thick mixture. You want it to spin freely. Otherwise, we don't want to burn out the motor or overheat the machine. And anyway, okay, so just be sure that you don't get it in to the blade too deep, because otherwise you're going to have plastic in your mustard, okay? And also, very important to turn on your Vita-Mix very slowly, otherwise you might be wearing your mustard instead of just eating it. So we're going to start out real slow, and it is on very low. It's starting out good. And we're going to slowly just walk the speed up. It's spinning freely, no need to use this right now. Here we go. Stop it. It sounds like there's a little air bubble in here. Get out the air bubble. We'll try it again. Make sure, again, it's on low. We don't want to be wearing it. All right, we're into a nice paste. So there we go. And I'm gonna have Linda go ahead and scrape it out. There's a lot of different things you can do to serve your mustard. You can do it as a dip if you'd like, just plain with veggies. Or you can do a couple other really fun things with it. You all saw the mushroom burger, the Zoom burger earlier. So you can either put it in a great little serving bowl, like Linda's demonstrated for us here, or you can take a nice squeeze bottle, great for kids too. Squeeze it on your burger. And you can see it's real thick. The other great thing you can do just to dress up some veggies, you can do some wraps. Take your flavor pick. You can use cabbage if you'd like. I think I'm going to use the kale. And fill it up with some veggies. Put a few sprouts in here. Save a few more sprouts here.
Want me to hold it for you?
Actually, I think I got it. I think I'm good. And my tendency is to always overfill everything. You can think how many more veggies you get that way, right? And then we can just squeeze our mustard on that. You've got a great variety for our wrap. The other thing you can do is make a sandwich. So basically pick all your favorite sandwich ingredients, because of course we all miss sandwiches. Bread seems to be, I'm going to give you this present to take home. Sure. Yeah, here. You can use almond bread, sprouted bread, take your pick, whatever your favorite will be. And just build a great little sandwich. So here we've got our romaine. We're going to fold it so it all fits on. Do our slice of tomato, some onions. Well, maybe we want to add some more onions to our wrap over here. Add a nice little color on top. And again, squirt on our little mustard. Put on our bread. So we lost our bread. There we go. And then you got a little sandwich. So all kinds of different fun ideas to do with veggies. So I hope you've all gotten some new different ideas of how to make your raw foods a little bit more exciting with some sauces. And now you're not intimidated of sprouting. You're all ready to go home and do a little sprouting on your own. And you've got some new thoughts with the power of a seed. So any questions? Yes.
So you combine both the light and the dark seeds in there?
Yes.
And they sprout at the same rate?
Yep, just soaked them overnight. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, just combining both the yellow and the brown seeds, they did soak them out the same amount of time. In the back.
What might you do you know any options to make it more of a hot mustard, less of a sweet mustard?
I'll let you taste it, but it's pretty spicy the way it is. You could use more brown and less yellow. You could also put more date in there, or you could add more agave or rapadura if you want to use a different form of sweetener, depending on what your preferences are. Yes?
Lisa, I'm not sure if you asked, but how long does it last?
It'll last for probably about 2 months in the refrigerator. And actually the flavors are going to keep developing and mellowing out a little bit more as they're mingling, as they sit and wait.
Why is it called honey mustard?
It's honey mustard because they're honey dates. We actually used honey dates in this. You can use any flavor, but today we used honey dates. Anybody else? All right, well, have a wonderful afternoon. Thanks all for coming.